Hey, it's James Mulvaney here. Welcome to another video, and today I want to talk about something that's really important. Most of the videos I create are about sound. I've done lots of microphone reviews. We've been talking about the Rodecaster Pro recently, but today I wanted to talk about lighting. Lighting is just as important as sound when it comes to video, and it can make the difference between a good video and a bad video. And I'm probably not very well lit right now because I've got a light behind me, but I want to show you a few different options for lighting today, including a kind of a budget lighting setup if you're just getting started, through to more fancy things like this one, which I've just got recently here, which is kind of really great for creating nice soft light. It's almost like a sort of studio light really, but interestingly, you know, I've got this now here in my home office. Similar to the sort of lights that we normally use in our production studios and our office itself, but lighting can make the difference between a good video and a bad video. So let's look at a few different lighting options for a few different budgets and see what we can do. Okay, so my first light recommendation, and this is really like a must for everyone. I mean, pretty much over the past year, due to lockdown and COVID and everything, we're all working from home. I'm still working from home. There's plans to go back to the office, but they're still not really set in stone. So I'm hoping that, you know, we'll be in soon. But basically, at the start of last lockdown, I quickly realized I was gonna need to be doing more web calls, more conferences, and also more content, recording content from home, which I've been doing over the past year, which I'd normally be doing, you know, with the aid of our sort of professional grade studio setup. Part of the issue with my desk here is I'm right next to a window, so immediately, like if I'm sat in front of my webcam, I kind of get bleached out because there's lots of light coming in from the window. So the solution is just to get a cheap ring light like this one. This cost me about $25, $30 from Amazon. This is USB powered. I'm actually just powering this off a power bank right now, but you can power it from your computer, you can power it from a laptop, or even just plug it in to a USB socket on your wall, like an iPhone charger, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's really portable because you can actually just power it off a power bank. It's fairly bright considering it's $30. You know, it's not the brightest in the world, but you know, the idea is it provides nice even sort of light around you, and if you kind of put it over the camera there, you'll see how it kind of provides a nice even light around my face. And with this particular one, I can also change the color temperature, so you can go for kind of like daylight, which is like this, which is basically just what it's supposed to be like outside, sort of somewhere in between, or a kind of a more warm glow. And it completely depends on the sort of look you're trying to create. So the best thing to do is try and mount it either, like if you can, directly round your webcam or above your webcam. I actually had mine on a tripod, a small tripod here, which is, you know, like a desktop tripod, like a little baby one, just to kind of mount it slightly to the side of my computer. Reason being, I've obviously got the daylight source right next to me, so the purpose of this was just to try and balance out the light. But yeah, as a bare minimum, if you just get a ring light like this, $30 off Amazon, it will make your videos or your webcam, your Zoom meetings, whatever it is you're doing, it will make it look a lot better than just having no light whatsoever. And indeed, I found myself using this not just for work, but like if I've been doing Zoom calls with friends, you know, like for people's birthdays, those kind of online quizzes and stuff, I found myself, sure enough, using this ring light to kind of light myself up for those kind of meetings as well, because quite often they're late at night or they're in the evening, everyone's having some drinks, and you want to look your best, you know, you don't want to be kind of like shrouded in darkness. So as a bare minimum for your podcast or your radio studio, go and go buy a cheap ring light like this. It will make your videos just look that little bit brighter. Likewise, if you're doing Zoom meetings, things like that, also really useful. So this is a cheap ring light, $30 off Amazon. I'll put a link to one in the description if you want to go out and purchase. Okay, so my current setup, which is a slight upgrade on the ring light, is I've actually got a light bar now. If I move this down here, you'll be able to see. This is just a bit brighter than a ring light, and it provides just a nice even spread of light, you know, vertically across here. So generally speaking, what I've actually done here is I've mounted it on a Rode boom arm, and I've just kind of clamped it in here to the Rode boom arm, which just allows me to sort of reposition it. If I'm not using it, I can push it out of the way. If I want to bring it a little bit closer, I can do. but this is kind of my new lighting setup. Just like the ring light, this has different configuration options. You can even make this go different colors if you want. And the cool thing about this is it's even chargeable. So if I actually take this off, you can actually just use this as a lightsaber if you wish, or you know, you could use it in the background to make your shots look cool. These things are used a lot in music videos. This one is by a company called Godox. So if you see there, it's Godox, G-O-D-O-X. They do some really great kind of professional grade but more budget friendly lighting options. Let's see if I can make this go over a different color. There we go. So yeah, so if we sort of mess around with it, we can, you know, we can have it go different fancy colors. You can even have it color changing like you see there. You know, so again, plenty of options of what you can do with this. You could even purchase two of these, have one set up either side of you, which would provide like a nice even way to light yourself up. But these light bars, you know, you can again buy these on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. Obviously it's an affiliate link, but this is definitely a step up from a ring light, but it's not as good as one of the next lights I'm about to show you, which I use really when I'm recording videos to the camera like this one. Okay, so option number 3, this I pinched from our office, which is kind of more of a professional level light. This is an LED panel light, and this basically consists of a series of LEDs which are facing in to a diffuser panel. So the LEDs are facing inwards that way. There's a row along each of these square corners. And the idea is that rather than the LEDs just facing you directly, they kind of hit this diffuser material and it creates more of a balanced light. This thing is like insanely bright considering the size of it, and also, you know, it's very thin. Again, you can actually run this off a battery. Most of the time I've had this in here, I've been running it from the mains. I think these retail around about 300 bucks a piece, maybe a little bit more. This is more like a kind of studio grade light. I'd say, you know, if you're recording stuff on a regular basis, you might want to consider something like this. It's pretty high end. It's probably a little bit too bright and intense for a room of this size. You know, this is just my spare office. You know, I sometimes have to dim this down quite a lot because otherwise I find that the light coming off it is just almost too bright, it's too harsh. But we use these at the office. We've got a few different variants of this. We've got, I think, 3 of these kind of square ones, and we've got some more like longer ones as well, which have got even more of an output volume. And I'm not a lighting technician, so I'm not going to start talking about like lumens and stuff. This one apparently has 1500 lux at one. I don't even know what that means. But this is a really bright light. I've obviously not got it plugged in right now, but I'll show you some B-roll over the top of this of how bright it is. And again, you know, you can change the color temperature of this, and it's proved pretty good. It's proved a useful tool for me over the past year, until I recently upgraded to what I'm currently using now and what I'm actually using to light this video. So let's do a little switcheroo and I'll take you through my latest purchase. Okay, so the last option I wanted to talk about in terms of, you know, how to light yourself for podcasting or for your radio show or even just for Zoom calls is this. This is the big boy. This is the latest purchase, and this is a Godox SL150. And if I switch this on, you'll see it is literally like having a sun which is in your room. Now, this is just insanely bright. You can kind of switch the fan on and off. That's without the fan, and that's at 75%. So if I just dial that up to 100, you'll see, I mean, again, you probably won't really get this on camera, but this is certainly not something you would want to look directly into. It's an incredibly intense light source, and that's with the fan switched on. If I just turn around to the business end of things here, so you can easily just dial up and down the intensity. But one of the things that you really want to get if you're purchasing a light like this is a diffuser. So I have here, this is by a company called Aperture, and it's called the Light Dome Mini. Now, you'll see here it has a fancy kind of grid on the front. This will help reduce light spill, which is basically where the light spills. It keeps it nice and directional. But inside there's a couple of diffusers, a couple of layers of material, which will effectively dampen down and spread out this light. So it's going to create more of a soft effect, which I think looks really, really good. And I've been very, very happy with this. So if I just attach this on here, these things never really go as well as you want them on camera, but there we go. We have, you know, this kind of umbrella shape. If I switch it on now, you'll see the light produced, if I turn it around on me, is kind of a lot softer than the light I was showing you before. and it looks pretty good. It's very, very flattering. So, you know, again, we can dial this up and down, but if I turn this off to a certain angle, you can barely see the light. This is what this kind of grid does. It will basically prevent light from spilling out at the side, so it will keep it really focused. So this is what I've been using most recently for a lot of my work. Again, if I just dial this up, you can see I can dial this up nice and bright, and you know, it produces nice, soft, sort of very flattering light. Okay, so there we have it. 4 different lighting options if you want to light up your podcast or your radio studio. All of these options are great. They all do different things. I think if you can have multiple lights in your kind of lighting kit, like I've been building up my collection just here in my office over the last year or so, it gives you great flexibility, of course. However, you know, if you can choose one light and you just want to light yourself really well, this is really, really impressive. I've been very, very happy with this. All in all, you might run up to about, I think it's $600, including the umbrella, diffuser, and also this light. So it's not the cheapest of options, but you know, I certainly think it produces really, really good light output. If you want to see any more detailed reviews on any of the fixtures that I've shown you today, please let me know in the comments. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll put links of all of these lights, different budgets. You can buy them on Amazon. They are affiliate links, but I'll add them in the description. So if you could help me out by purchasing through one of those links, that would be awesome. All right, take it easy. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now. Hey, wait, before you go, perhaps you're looking to start a podcast for your business. Did you know that most businesses make the same exact mistakes? Whenever we work with clients who are struggling to get their podcast off the ground, or they're not getting the traction that they deserve, it turns out that most of the time they're making the same mistake. So what I've done is I've compiled a guide, which is called the 5-Step Business Podcast Checklist, which will show you exactly what you need to know to get your podcast up and running without making the same mistakes that most other people do. So you can download it for free at jamesm.com/podcast. That's jamesm.com/podcast. Go and grab your copy today.